Jnanakosha Vedas Atharvana Veda by pact.
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रवत्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पतः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः
Atharvana Veda based Upanishads, Annapurna Upanishad, Part 3. He is said to be dead whose mind is not given over to investigation when he walks or stands, when he is awake or asleep. Note the spirit in itself to be of the nature of the light of right knowledge. It is fearless, neither subjugated nor depressed. The knower digests food he eats, impure, unwholesome, defiled through contact with poison, well cooked or stale, as though it were sweet. The wise know liberation to be the renunciation of all attachment, non-birth results from it. Give up attachment to objects, be liberated in life, O sinless one. Attachment is held to be the impure impressions causing reactions like joy and indignation when the objects sought after are present or absent. Pure is the impression latent in the bodies of the liberated in self, which does not lead to rebirth and is unattained by elation or depression. O Nigha, pains do not depress you, joys do not elate you. Abandoning servitude to desires, be unattached. Undetermined by space and time, beyond the purview of ease and ease not, there is but Brahman, the pure indestructible spirit, quiescent and one, there is nothing else. Thus thinking, while a body at once present and absent, be liberated, the silent man, uniform with quiescent, and mind delighting in the self. There is neither mind stuff nor mind, neither nescience nor jiva. Manifest is the one Brahman alone, like the sea, without beginning or end. The illusory perception of mind continues as long as the eye sense is bound up with the body. Objects are mistaken for the self, and the sense of possession expressed as this is mine persists. Sage illusory perceptions of mind vanish for one who through introversion internally burns up in the fire of the spirit the dry grass that is this threefold world. I am the self that is the spirit, I am impartiate, I have neither cause nor effect. Remember your vast infinite form. Through memory do not be fitinized. By means of mantra of the spiritual science contemplated within, the deadly disease of craving dwindles as does mist in autumn. The sages hold that the best form of renunciation, namely that of latent impressions, by virtue of knowledge, is the status of aloneness, as it is pure universal being. Where latent impressions remain in solution, there is deep sleep. It does not make for perfection. Where the impressions are seedless, there is the fourth that yields perfection. Even a very small residue of latent impressions of fire, death, disease, and adversaries, of attachment, enmity, and poison affects one adversely. With the seeds of latent impressions consumed and conformed to universal being, with or without a body, one no more partakes of sufferings. The addition, this is not Brahman, is the sun, total of nescience, whose extinction consists in the opposite decision. This is Brahman. Brahman is spirit, Brahman is the world, Brahman is the congregation of beings, Brahman is myself, Brahman is the adversary of the spirit, Brahman is the allies and friends of the spirit. Once it is realized that Brahman is all, man is Brahman indeed. One experiences the omnipresent spirit that is peace. When the mind, the guide of unregenerate senses, ceases to operate in regard to the alien, the immaculate, all-pervading awareness that remains the Brahman intelligence, am I. Resort to that intelligence self, having discarded all speculations, all curiosity, all vehemence of feelings. Thus, intelligent beings with full knowledge, equanimous, with minds rid of all attachment, neither applaud nor condemn either life or death. O Brahman, the vital breath has the ceaseless power of vibration. It always moves. In this body with its ins and outs, this upgoing vital breath is placed above. The down breath too is similar, only it is stationed below. That best breath control that operates in the expert, whether awake or asleep. Listen to an account of that for better being. Puraka is the contact of the body with the up breaths that move forwards from the nostrils through the space of 12 finger breaths. Apana, the down breath, is the moon that keeps the body in well being, O well disciplined sage. The up breath is the sun or the fire which internally warms the body. Resort to the spiritual identity of the down and up breaths that dwells near the point where the up breath dwindles and the down breath rises. Resort to that spiritual impartite principle when the down breath has set and for a moment the up breath has not yet arisen. Resort to that spiritual impartite principle at the tip of the nose where the breaths revolve before the down breath sets while the up breath has done so. These three worlds are only an appearance, neither existent nor non existent. The consequent renunciation of all concern with an other the wise maintain is right knowledge. Noble Brahman, even this appearance is distorted by the mirror of the mind. Therefore, giving up that too, be rid of all appearances. Uprooting this fearful demon of the mind, detrimental to the essence of steadiness, remain what you are, be steadfast. The spirit that is beyond cause and effect and is like to the sky is incapable of confrontation by any real object. It remains at the end of all mental processes. The satisfaction felt at the moment of desire is caused by that very desire. This satisfaction lasts only till discontent, therefore reject desire. Reduce desire to desirelessness, let conception cease, let mind grow into mindlessness in the process of your life without attachment. Acting through these organs free from the force of latent impulses, like the sky you would not alter though there be a thousand disturbances. Due to the activity and the inactivity of the mind, does empirical life start and subside? Through the suppression of latent impulses and the vital breath, reduce the mind to inactivity. Due to the activity and inactivity of the vital breath, does empirical life start and subdue? Through drill and application, reduce it to inactivity. Due to the active and passive phases of ignorance, do activities get started and cease? Dissolve it forcefully by winning a teacher and the instructions of the Shastras. By a mere quicker of the non-objective knowledge or by the suppression of vital breaths is mind reduced to mindlessness, that is the supreme status. Through the perception of Brahman infallibly directed to it, behold that real bliss occasioned by the visioning of the knowledge. The indeed is the non-factious bliss which the mind does not reach. It is free from decline and growth. It neither rises nor sets. The mind of the knower is not called mind. Mind indeed is the truth of spirit. Therefore, in the fourth state, it transcends that state. Having renounced all mental constructions equable and with a quiescent mind, be a sage wedded to the yoga of renunciation, possessing both knowledge and freedom. The Supreme Brahman is that which conforms to no act of mention. It is what remains when mental activities completely die down and all masses of latent impulses have been liquidated. By securing right knowledge and by unremitting concentration, those who become enlightened in the wisdom of the Upanishads are the Sankhyas and the others are the Yogins. Those are the yogins versed in yoga, who, after the quiescence of the breath through ascetic practices, achieve the status above sufferings, beginningless and endless. What is required to be won by all is the uncaused and still status, the contemplation of the one changeless real, the control of breath, the dwindling of the mind. When one of them is perfected, it helps perfect the others. The vital breaths and mind of living beings are all concomitant. Like the container and the content, they perish when only one is present. Through self destruction, they produce that best of products, namely liberation. If remaining steady, you reject all this by understanding. Then, on the cessation of the I sense, you yourself are the supreme status. There is but one great spirit, which is called the being. It is flawless, even pure, free from the essence, I sense. It shines forth but once, the pure, the ever risen, the same. It is described by many names as Brahman, the Supreme Self. For Nidhagha, knowing for creation, I am that having done what had to be accomplished, I never think of the past or the future. I cling wholly to the vision that is present here. This have I won today, I shall achieve this beautiful. I laud not, neither do I condemn. Nothing other than the self is anywhere. The gaining of the foot good does not gladden me, evil betiding me does not sadden me. Sage, the waverings of my mind have been totally still. It is robbed of all sorrow. It is cured of all wantings. It is tranquil. Therefore I am hale and untrammeled. This is a friend, this is a foe, this is mine. That is a stranger. This sort of knowledge does not occur to me. O Brahman, no affection touches me. Rid of all latent impressions, the mind is liberated from old age and death. Mind with latent impressions inherent in it is knowledge. What is to be known is the mind rid of all latent impressions. When the mind is rejected, this duality on all sides is dissolved, but remains the tranquil Supreme One, pure and untroubled. The endless, unborn, unmanifest, unaging, tranquil, unlapsing, non-dual, beginningless and endless, which nevertheless is the first apprehension. One devoid of beginning and end, Holy Spirit, pure, pervasive, subtler, far than the sky, thou art that Brahman indubitably. Undetermined by space, time, superlatively pure, ever arisen, omnipresent, this one end is all in all, be thou that pure spirit. All is this tranquil one, devoid of beginning, middle and end. All is unborn, both being and unbeing, and non-being. So thinking, be happy. I am not bound nor liberated. I am indeed the untrammeled Brahman. I am free from duality. I am being, intelligence, bliss. Keeping far away the entire multitude of objects, be you ever devoted to the self, your mind all cooled. This is fine, this is not. Such feeling is the seed of your extended sorrow. When that is burned in the fire of impartiality, where is the occasion for sorrow? First, augment wisdom by means of familiarity with the Shastras and by seeking the company of the holy. The true, real, and ultimate Brahman, superlatively pure, eternal, without beginning and end, is the cure for all forms of transmigratory life. So also is it neither coarse nor spaced, neither tangible nor visible. It is tasteless and scentless, unknowable and peerless. Well disciplined sage, for achieving liberation, one should meditate on the bodiless self, that is Brahman, being consciousness and bliss without end as I am. Concentration is the origination of knowledge in regard to the unity of the Supreme and the Jiva. The Self, verily, is eternal, omnipresent, immutable, and flawless. Being but one through Maya, it splits up, not in its essence. Therefore, the non dual alone is no manifold, no empirical life. Just as space is called pot space, great space, so due to delusion is the self called Jiva and Ishvara in two ways. When the all pervading spirit shines always without a break in the mind of the yogin, then one becomes oneself. Verily, when one beholds all beings in one's own self and oneself in all beings, one becomes Brahman. In the state of concentration atoned with the Supreme, one beholds no beings, one then is the alone. The first plane generating the desire for liberation is marked by the practice of discipline and detachment due to intimacy with the Shastras and the company of the holy. The second is marked by investigation, the third by contemplation with all its accessories, the fourth is the solvent as it consists in the dissolution of latent impressions. The fifth is the rapturous, it is purely cognitive. This is the station of the liberated in self who is, as it were, half awake and half asleep. The sixth plane is non cognitive. It is the station similar to deep sleep, having the nature of pure and massive bliss. The seventh plane is marked by equability, utter purity, tenderness. It is indeed unqualified liberation, the quiescent fourth state. The transcendent state beyond the fourth, nirvana, in its essence, is the transcendent and developed seventh plane. It does not come within the purview of mortals. The first three constitute but the wakeful life. The fourth is called the dream state, where the world is regrettably dreamlike. The fifth, conforming to massive bliss, is styled deep sleep. In contrast, the sixth, which is non cognitive, is named the fourth state. The most excellent seventh plane is the state beyond the fourth, beyond the range of mind and words, and identified with the self luminous being. If due to the withdrawal of the cognitive organs into oneself, no object is perceived, one is liberated indeed indubitably by the mighty sameness of vision. I die not, neither do I live. Being preponderantly non existent, I am existent neither. I am nothing but spirit, so thinking the intelligent Jiva Mukta sorrows not. Stainless am I, unaging and unattached, with latent impressions all tranquilized. I am imperitite, the veritable spirit sky, so thinking he sorrows not. Rid of the essence pure, awake, unaging, immortal, peaceful, all appearances have been quietened for me. So thinking he sorrows not. I am one with him who dwells at the tips of grass, in the sky, in the sun, in man, the mountain, and the gods. So thinking he sorrows not. Discarding all mental constructions about objects rising well above them, dwell on the thought, I, the free, am the supreme Brahman that remains. Beyond the purview of words, rid of the predicament of hankering after objects, unagitated even by the flavor of climatic bliss, he delights in the self by himself. Renouncing all actions, ever content, independent, neither by virtue, sin, nor aught else is he stained. Just as a mirror is not stained by reflections, so is the knower inwardly such unstained by actions or fruits. Freely moving amidst the masses, he knows neither pains nor pleasures. When his body is tortured or honored, as if these are directed to one's reflections. Beyond praise and change, recognizing neither worship nor its object, at once conforming and indifferent at all codes of etiquette. Let him give up his body either in a holy spot or in the hut of an eater of dog's flesh. Once knowledge is one becomes Gyanin, a knower, or a Brahman, free from all latent impressions of karma. The cause of bondage is mental construction. Give that up. Liberation comes through the absence of mental construction. Practice it intelligently. In the context of objects, sense organs, and their contact, by vary perpetually and steadily, avoiding states of mental construction. Do not succumb to objects, neither identify yourself with the sense organs. Having renounced all constructions, identify with what remains. If anything pleases you, then in a state of bondage are you in empirical life? If nothing pleases you, then indeed are you liberated here. In the multitude of objects moving and stationary, extending from grass up to the living bodies, let there be nothing that gives you pleasure. In the absence of the I sense and its negation, at once existent and non existent, what remains unattached, self same, superlatively pure and steadfast is said to be the fourth. That superlatively pure sameness, the quiescent status of liberation in life, the state of the spectator, is in empirical usage called the fourth state. This is neither wakefulness nor dream, for there is no room for mental constructions. Neither is this the state of deep sleep, for no inertness is involved in this. This world as it is dissolved, and then it is the fourth state for those who are tranquilized and rightly awakened. For the unawakened it stands changeless. When the aspect of I sense is given up and equably dominates and the mind disintegrates, the fourth state comes on. The repudiation of the object manifold is the doctrine of the Shastras, setting forth the spirit. Here is neither avidya nor maya. This is the tranquil Brahman, unfatigued. One is inevitably tranquilized in the clear sky of the spirit, known as Brahman, whose essence is quietude and equability, and which is resplendent with all powers. Giving up everything, be wedded to an immense silence, O sinless one, plunged into nirvana, lifted above ratiocination, with mind and attitude and intellect becalmed. With a tranquilized mind abide in the self, like the one dumb, blind and deaf, ever turned inward, superlatively pure, with brimming inner wisdom. O twice born perform acts, remaining in deep slumber in wakefulness itself, having internally renounced everything, act externally as occasion arises. Mind's being alone is suffering. The giving up of the mind alone is joy. Therefore, through non-cognition and plenitude, the mind in the sky of the spirit. Seeing that the beautiful or the ugly always remains like a stone irremovable, thus through one's own effort is empirical existence conquered. What is hidden in the Vedanta, taught in bygone ages, should not be offered to one who is not established in peace, neither to one who is not a son or pupil. Whoever studies the Annapurna Upanishad with the blessings of the one's teacher become a Jivan Mukta and by himself altogether Brahman. This is the Upanishad. Om, O Devas, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious, may we see with our eyes what is auspicious, O ye worthy of worship, may we enjoy the term of life allotted by the Devas, praising them with our body and limbs steady. May the glorious Indra bless us, may the all-knowing Sun bless us, may Garuda the thunderbolt for evil bless us, may Brihaspati grant us well-being. Om, let there be peace in me, let there be peace in my environment, let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Here ends the Annapurna Upanishad as contained in the Atharva Veda.